going. So, welcome back. Podcast number 4, Mavericks, Montana. We got Cade Olson back again. Logan Weisbach, Caleb Johnson. Number 4. As you can see from our newly invented studio, we've traveled to another planet and made this studio. We're definitely not in Caden's garage.
We are not on Earth anymore, trust.
Feel like Eric Foreman. Except this isn't my basement.
Joe Biden's basement.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, here we are. We're talking about aliens and UFOs, unidentified flying objects. I just want to say that because it sounds smart. Everyone knows what UFOs are, though.
Big brain.
The lizard.
Big brain. Is this picking up any of our audio?
Yeah, that's what that green line is.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Same thing as last time.
Just making sure.
Why don't we start now?
No,
Talk
we're good.
louder.
No, we're good.
We're
We can edit it out. We can
It's all natural,
we can clip it. So
let's do what we do.
Chat, clip it.
yeah. All right. Let's keep her rolling. Introduce topic.
You already did.
Aliens and UFOs.
All right.
So I'll start with my... You done?
Sorry. This mother.
What did he say?
What do you mean?
Dude, he goes, introduce the topic. Logan goes, he did.
You did.
He did. Okay.
Sorry, bud.
We're pros, alright? Let me get in the frame here. That's a good thing, too.
Oh, dude.
So,
Don't ever do that again.
What? He did.
just starting off with kind of my broad area view. Remember the first time I ever thought about or heard of aliens? I was in a special reading class in 4th grade. And I was in a special reading class. Right? It's not because I was dumb. I wasn't stupid.
No, I was in that.
You're
too.
special.
I wasn't stupid. My IQ was fine. I was a smart kid. Every time someone put a book in front of me, I just stared at the wall and didn't read it.
Just special.
And the way they
Too special.
like
Hey, I was
did
in a
that.
special reading class.
The way they judged that in elementary school was like standardized
Special.
advanced reading AR tests, and I just purposely bombed AR tests. But I'm actually really smart, and I do read
Yeah.
books, just good books, not the stupid shit they made us read in school. But
Yeah.
anyways, I remember in 4th grade I was in this special reading class, and they would give us these packets. And one day they gave me these packets about UFOs and like all the sightings and stuff. And that's kind of just when my like belief / doubt started from with the whole topic, because I never heard of it before. But basically, there's all these people who have these stories about being abducted and all this stuff. And at first I believed all of them. I was totally in belief of all the topics, of all the stories that people had. But then when I started to do more research into it, the first one that kind of deranged out of nowhere, came out of nowhere, no one had ever talked about being abducted or been abducted before. In the 50s, there was this couple called Barney and Bev Hill, and they're one of the most famous UFO sighting stories. They were an interracial couple, which was frowned upon back then. Barney was black, Bev was white, and they had no reason to draw attention to themselves, and they both got abducted at the same time. Both have different recollections and different visions they had. Same thing happened. They remember getting lifted up. They remember being knocked out. They remember being tested on. And then they got put back in their house. And they didn't go public with it for a while because they were an interracial couple. But after that, all these other sightings and stories came up out of nowhere. One of the most famous ones is Roswell, New Mexico. This whole town has had multiple sightings and stories. And my grandparents actually went there. Nice. You're done.
I'm gonna get abducted, bro.
Good try.
And the whole kind of mythology started in Roswell. The whole like alien culture with the tinfoil hats and the little green guys started in Roswell. And personally, I don't believe in any of that Roswell shit. I think it's all just publicity and people being stupid and people trying to get attention. And if you go to Roswell now, it's a tourist trap. I mean, they have alien museums, alien bumper stickers. It's the whole town is shrouded in like this alien culture, and they have like this kind of Comic-Con of like people dress up as aliens and all this stuff. And
Oh, it's like the thing, like Oregon and Bigfoot.
yeah, it's just, I think it started out as something real, and then it got, popularized and culturized into something that can be sold and marketed, and
They just blew it out of the water.
yeah, but I think it was real at some point, and that was kind of the first written in like public story was the Hill couple, and but before that, in history there's been these weird occurrences that no one can really explain. Like to this day we still have no idea who built the pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone says it was ancient Egyptians, but each one of those sandstone blocks weighs over 4,000 pounds. They didn't have cars, they didn't have wagons, they had slaves, and sure, they could have, like, as of right now, they thought someone architected it out, but there's, like, to this day, the architecture behind that is, surrounded in, like, disbelief. And
There's no way. Like, how do you get those 4,000-pound blocks to the very top?
Like,
You know,
how you
And then-
stack them?
because
And then
they had ancient technology. Like
Yeah.
they had like the first system
Ropes,
of like pulleys
carts,
and stuff.
pulleys, slave labor.
That
And
is
the
no,
belief,
that is nowhere near
the scientific archaeological belief now is that the original architect for the pyramids never got a saw their completion. And the Sphinx was actually built way before the pyramids. I mean,
Really?
if you look at it from an archaeological standpoint, the nose like fell off and they rebuilt it like when they built the pyramids. And the Sphinx was way before the pyramids. Why would they build? First of all, why would they build the Sphinx? I mean, maybe it's part of their religion. You know, a giant tiger body with a dude head, the pharaoh.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a monument towards their leader. But the pyramids have nothing to do with their leaders. Why would they build the
No.
pyramids? They have nothing to do with their leaders or anything. And there's not. The Sphinx was built kind of because of the whole ancient Egypt religion. You bury the pharaohs and they give them a whole tomb and, you know, sarcophagus and all that crap. There's none of that in the pyramids. I mean, there's no reason scientifically for why they built them and how they were built. And it would have took them, the estimate was it would have took them 2,000 years, or not 2,000, 200 years to build the pyramids. So the original guy who had it all planned out never got to see their completion. To me, that doesn't make sense. It's like if the guy who built the Empire State Building never got to see it finished.
Yeah, there's definitely something fishy.
Yeah, what
fishy up
interests
there.
me about it is the hieroglyphics, because no one can read them, right?
No.
Like no one can read the
Not to this day, no.
hieroglyphics. Yeah, and like they have all these weird
Languages.
figures, languages
can.
on the, like inscribed into the walls.
The Egyptian hieroglyphics, but not the stuff in the pyramids. Not the symbols and stuff in the pyramids.
Yeah, they have like
can't they,
symbols.
transcribe some of it?
I think they can do
From
some
the
of
Egyptian.
it,
They have like a
language.
there's
They have a piece, but
but they don't have like the whole thing. So like there's nobody in the world that can read it. So like, is it from something else? You know, because like that, everyone thinks the aliens built the pyramids, and like that argument makes sense to me if you believe in aliens. Like, I don't really think that. I don't know. I don't agree that there's aliens. I think there might be, but
you don't think they visited Earth per se.
I think there's a very slim chance that there's other life out there.
Well, my belief
But
is
we'll get on that.
There
in a
is
bit
other
after
life
we're done with this.
out there, and have they visited Earth? I don't know. But if they did visit Earth, would they steal our cows?
No.
Would they go to random?
would have
Would they go
no-
to random like
I mean, like
Idaho? Would they go to all these random states, Idaho, Nevada, and all this stuff in Egypt, and just like draw circles on the ground?
Yeah, have
and-
you seen
The
like
argument with that, though,
the
is, like-
mazes they make, like all
like,
the stuff
yeah,
they leave, like the
crop
corn,
circles.
the crop circles.
Yeah, why would they do that though?
the argument with that though, maybe they're trying to communicate with us. Like
If they're
that.
intelligent, if they're these super intelligent
They're gonna
beings,
just communicate with
Well,
us.
it doesn't. They're not necessarily like more intelligent than us. Like they could be the exact same. They're just like more advanced in technology.
yeah, but
you know?
we
But, like-
can't travel to other planets at this point. Our system of combustion engines and space travel, not even close to being able to travel to another intelligent life. So in order for someone else to travel to us, they would have to be way more technologically advanced.
They'd have to
yeah,
be light years ahead of us.
technologically advanced, but not like they're not necessarily smarter. Like they just have better.
You don't know that.
I think
Technology.
I feel like they would
Well,
be.
I'm,
in order to invent that.
Yeah.
They would have to be smarter. They would have to be.
And would they communicate with
maybe they
languages? and would
figured out
have-
how to unlock more of the brain.
Maybe, but if they would communicate in language, I think that all we know about language is
They're
so
not
far.
gonna
The
communicate
first
in crop
language was
circles.
Sanskrit, and they can decipher that and like break that down and like transform it to an alphabet. But I don't think aliens would communicate. Think about Neuralink, this thing that Elon Musk is designing called Neuralink. It's like Black Mirror with like it can communicate with technology. They're gonna implant stuff and we can communicate to each other without even talking.
Pretty so cool.
So, if that's where we are in our technological advancement to this point, and if alien and we have combustion engines and space travel, that's where we are in our timeline. If aliens have the technology to build spacecraft that can teleport through time and like travel through space without like time or wasting gas and all that stuff, I think their communication skills would be way past ours, where we have to use language and voice and like try and communicate with each other that way. So I think if they came to our planet and visited us, they would think we're monkeys. They would think we're like not technological advanced at all, and they wouldn't try to
We'd
communicate
be like
with us.
cavemen to them.
Exactly. If you look at it from a time point perspective.
Yeah, like
'Cause
our
we're still
version
using-
of cavemen would be how they view us.
Yeah, because we're still using combustion gas and all this stuff and all this useless kind of stuff to communicate with us, or to how our society and how our world works. They would be so far past that in every aspect in order to get to us. Hypothetically, if they can do that hypothetically, I think something people don't think about is they wouldn't try to like steal our cows. We just have these stupid big animals that produce meat.
I know, but like, okay, think about this. Like, they don't know what kind of life cows are. Like, they probably don't have cows on their planet. Like, so they're doing research on what we got here. You know?
Why cows though?
Well, I'm gonna guess like that's just what we know. Like, they could have picked a bunch of animals out of the rainforest too.
That's the culture though. That's so this proof we have. That's the proof we think we have as crops.
Well, yeah, but we don't hold like tigers in pens in large numbers, in like thousands of numbers.
I think if they did visit us, I think what they would do is take us, these primitive monkeys, and observe us, make fun of us, and put us in the zoo, and abduct us and experiment on us, like these people Benny and Barney Hill said they did. Like this other guy, Travis Walton, in the 70s, I think it was. He was on this logging crew in Oregon, him and his buddies hated him on this logging crew. They were on the way to work one day, started logging, and they all saw this. All 12 of them, they don't like each other. They have no reason to like make this whole story up and collude together. They saw this big white light, like a fire or something, boosh. And then Travis got sucked up, and then he disappeared for 3 days, and people thought his logging crew killed him because none of the people, not even your friend, none of the people on the logging crew liked him. So the story around the town was that they killed him, and they were all put in jail, and they county jail for 3 days. And then 3 days later, he shows up, has no idea what happened, only slight memories. 3 days he was gone. To me, I think that would make sense too. I mean, there's been a movie. He wrote a book, and then after that, they made a movie called Fire in the Sky, which was sci-fi. It wasn't that good, but they kind of tried to tell a story. And he collaborated with them, but to me that makes sense. I mean, if they were to come to us, I think they would take. We're the master race on our planet. We rule everything.
Yeah.
We're the most sophisticated, intelligent beings on our planet who created all this stuff, architecture and all this stuff. And I think if they were to do anything, if they came to us, hypothetically, that's what they would do. And the stories that we have, you know, that actually make sense.
But
that's
like,
what they
you know,
did.
like if they were smart enough, they'd go for like bigger ruler, you know? They wouldn't go for like, I think they'd just go for like normal everyday civilians if they got like,
We don't know
rights
though.
for it.
I mean,
yeah,
they came here, they might be observing us right now. We don't know. And we don't know if they
exactly.
come down and just take some random logger or
Right.
kidnap the president or try
Yeah,
to-
like what's to say that they know who like the most powerful people who like run
Yeah, saying metaphorically, if they know, if like, you know, they,
Yeah, but if they're in their society where they're so like advanced, where they don't even have like politics or government or all this stuff, or
they're just gonna take the
intelligent beings in
everyday.
their own-
they
They're
have
gonna
that
take the
utopia.
They're just gonna
Yeah.
take the everyday person.
and they're
Yeah,
not
well, the thing like maybe they did think that. Well, what was his name?
Travis Walton.
Yeah, maybe they thought he was the leader because like everyone on the crew he was on hated him, so like he was probably off by himself. You know, like leaders don't go with the pack.
Yeah.
Like they're off by themselves.
Maybe from a psychological standpoint.
So like
that's
if you view it at that like
At
that
that
point of view,
perspective,
like maybe they thought he was like the leader of that. Thing,
Maybe.
you know, like he was the important person.
the point, like, would they take the bigger person in power if they, you know, they could think like that? Sure.
Yeah, from what we know of our human consciousness, if there was an advanced society out there on some other planet, I think their consciousness would be so differently constructed and conceived.
They would definitely think differently than we
Like
do.
kind of what I
Yeah.
was saying with communication, they wouldn't communicate the way we do. They'd be so more advanced that they could travel to us through light years.
Yeah.
I mean, their consciousness has got, because when you see a depiction of an alien, he's got no genitalia, his head is this big, their brains
They're
are so much.
skinny, you know, whatever. They're built
Any
way
thoughts on
different.
this, Louis?
No.
So I mean, as far as,
I thought about that. Maybe they used to look like us, like humanoid
They just
figures, and
formed.
they had all that like genitalia, like normal sized heads, all
Yeah.
that, and then as they like advanced
Evolved.
technologically, they evolved, and they don't need their genitalia or like and their heads evolved to
How do
fit
we know?
bigger brains
Like,
or
do
whatever.
they
You
even
know?
look like that though, or is that just a made up thing?
Well, we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if you look at Area 51 and all the supposed science and documents that have came out, we've never seen a figure, but there has been. I don't know much about this, but there was this aircraft carrier in the Atlantic Ocean, I think, that saw this triangle-shaped thing look like a giant black Dorito. Started about, and they were like, It was like in Top Gun. They were like, oh, bogey, incoming, 30,000 knots. So they saw him and they were going to go send some fighter jets to, get out of this restricted airspace. And it went from like 20,000 feet up in the air to sea level in less than 2 seconds.
Well, we don't know everything about like military aircraft. Like there's a big bomber stealth jet.
Yeah, it looked
that
like that.
looks exactly like a Dorito.
No,
a
it looked like
Dorito.
that, but it went faster and controlled gravity in a way that scientists and
Like
all these
faster than the
people
speed of
on the
sound.
Air Force Base, didn't even break the sound barriers.
Well, we don't know because like, all right, so back in the day, they had this plan for an aircraft carrier plane, and it was nuclear powered. Had
like the
four.
helicarrier and
It had like 4 turbine engines. It could fit 4,000 troops,
That's what it is.
and it could carry like fighter jets on its wings.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was
It's a
crazy.
helicarrier
It was
engines.
bigger than like the big three decker like Airbuses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they never built it, but it was nuclear powered, so we don't know like the limitations of what that would be.
Yeah.
Like maybe
If
it
we
had more
pursued
power.
that,
Yeah,
that's another thing
they
with
said it
NASA
could fly
too.
for like 42 days straight without stopping.
That's the thing with NASA too. Like we shut down NASA in 2011, but imagine if we kept that going in space travel and put all our effort into that. What if some other society did that and they would be able to travel with us? And there is habitable planets out there. I mean, one of the moons on Saturn is life can. What am I trying to say? Life is habitable there, but we just
Like if we had
it would
like
take years and
evacuate,
years and years and years
or
for us to
something
get there.
happened, Yeah.
And you'd have to have like babies on the plane and do all this stuff, and then we'd run out of resources. So as of right now, we can't go there.
No. It'd
But if we
be
need to, we
impossible.
could.
It's like if we had to, that's where we could and would go.
We're done.
Yeah, get out.
Waiting for him? Yeah. So
But I definitely do believe that there's other life form, 1,000%.
yeah, it was scientifically totally probably.
Because space, it goes on
Our
forever.
whole galaxy.
There's definitely planets we still haven't even discovered
yeah,
yet.
our whole galaxy, and the closest star is like light years and light years
Light
away.
years away.
And it's
And
just
like think
sitting
about
out
that.
there.
There's stars out there that are like
exactly like our
trillion
sun,
times
and
bigger
there's
than
solar
Earth.
systems that are exactly like ours.
like like a meteor and just come down and the whole
And the whole light years thing is crazy because how we measure speed in space is different from how we measure speed in like our cars. Like the way they measure it is like how fast you're going in time.
which is on
So like if we try to travel to Mars per se, it would take, I think the calculation right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is like 20 years or something like that.
it's like 1 year up there is like 20 on Earth or something.
But that's like hurtling through space hundreds of miles.
That's
per
what I
hour.
just wrote down was the concept of time in space. Like
It's
you know
different.
what is that movie that they spend like
Interstellar.
Interstellar, and they spend like
Interstellar,
they spend like 3 hours on that one planet. And it's like 30 years on Earth.
Yeah.
Like that concept doesn't make
It
any
can't-
sense
I
to
can't
me.
even wrap
Well,
my
it's
head
because
around
our
it.
concept as humans of time, seconds, minutes, hours, days,
It-
years. That aliens probably don't. The only reason we came up with that concept is we are decaying life forms and we will die eventually.
Okay,
Mhm.
but like, how does that work? Like, you spend 3 hours. Like, okay, so you measure it on your watch. That would keep the same time as it would on Earth,
That's
right?
how it was in Interstellar.
Yeah, and so
That's our time system, though.
yeah, but you spend 3 hours on that particular planet, 3 Earth hours. So how would that differ from?
There's so many variables that go into that.
It's
And
so I can't wrap my head
In
around it.
this supposed like interstellar say premise, the sun is a greater distance away, and that affects our aging process, and like,
Yeah.
the whole. Our concept of time was arrived on us living on this planet, decaying over 100 years, and we created this numerical system that goes along with that and tracks the sun going across the day. So on that planet, the sun would go around a different way in evolutions, and I don't know how it would affect us. I think we would still die at the same place because that's just how we are genetically. But
Well, it's just crazy
other
to
life
think
forms
about.
would have different lifespans and different, ways of measuring time than per se this like giant light that goes across the sky every day.
My head's
And
getting
the
too
fact
sweaty
that
for this.
the fact that our bodies need to recharge every single night.
Well, what really, kind of blows my mind, and, I could be completely wrong here, but when you're traveling through space, whatever, like the year thing, time-wise different, and traveling, 1 year up there, and like we can't really put a time measurement on it, and it multiplies on Earth. So like 1 year there is multiple on Earth, right? But when you travel and come back, it like doesn't feel like it's been 30 years.
Well, I was the only like time travel.
And you don't age, right?
Like
you only
in the movie
age.
Interstellar, it was crazy because
They
when
didn't
he
age
came back, he was younger than his daughter.
Yes, that's what I'm
Like
saying.
his daughter was an old lady.
That's
and
what I'm
he was
talking
still,
about. Is
like,
they aged the time they're on like traveling.
Because he wasn't on Earth.
Yeah, like they
That's how
come
time is on Earth.
like they come back.
The only scientific evidence we have that time travel could exist is that philosophy. That was Einstein's equals mc squared.
Mhm.
His philosophy was if you're in a spaceship that could go faster than we have, like scientifically possible right now, and you could be flying backwards through space for a certain number of light years, time would speed up. So time would be different up there than it would be down there. So by the time you did that and flying through space, by the time you come back on Earth, it'd be the future.
I'm wrapping my head around it now. So if you're traveling faster than the speed of light, like
That's
correct.
that's it.
Correct.
so so if you're traveling faster than the speed of light,
Which is
We can't go that fast yet, but
way
if
too
you-
fast.
Time travel.
you literally can't.
That's how time travel is possible. Scientifically, from a
That makes-
theoretical standpoint.
But yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's still hard to wrap your head around, but I'm getting it more. So if you're traveling faster than the speed of light, then like age doesn't affect you as much. I guess
Because you're
It's-
going
so
faster than the
you
thing. That,
you're going
you're-
faster than how you age.
Yeah.
yeah, but then by the time you come back on Earth, it'd be the future. We don't know scientifically how you could go to the past, but it is scientifically
I don't
possible.
think that's
To go to the
Theoretically,
future.
to go to the future, if you're in space, flying faster than the speed of light, for a certain, if you like do the math, you'd have to have the Earth time and then the space time. The space time would be less, so by the time you're back on Earth, you're back on Earth's time, and you haven't aged, but everyone else has on Earth.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be possible to go back in time.
I don't think that's possible at all. Be
The
honest.
one of the smartest people in the world, Albert Einstein, never figured it out. And he figured out a lot of stuff. So I mean, that's
I just don't think it'd be possible because you're traveling through space. Earth is still revolving around the sun.
it's still
like,
going. It doesn't stop. It doesn't go backwards.
Well, it's impossible to go
yeah.
back in time.
How I was thinking about it is, okay, so I don't know which way Earth revolves around the sun, but let's say it goes this way. So you take your rocket ship, you go the opposite way,
Yeah.
and so
Have you guys seen Superman?
yeah,
Like,
and
reverse
he
around
like
the Earth,
he like reverses the Earth.
time.
That wouldn't even work though.
It was.
'Cause-
They get a lot of crap for that, but
Yeah,
that was based on Einstein's theory. If you're going faster than the speed of light, which Superman can, then
I feel like if you're going faster than the speed of light and you
you
left,
wouldn't go backwards.
if you left one day in space, like let's say in space you're going faster than the speed of light, you would spend a year up there. Maybe you like your body wouldn't age, you know. So like you're traveling faster than the speed of light, and you go around, you come back.
Yeah.
Technically, you've been gone for like 10 minutes, but to you it feels like let's say 10 years or
That's
something.
because our concept of time is just numbers.
It's
man.
so off.
It's
Yeah.
just numbers, and it all is just based on
Blows my
when we
mind.
wake up in the morning, we need to
Yeah.
recharge, and we go back to bed.
It really
And it
does.
all revolves around how the sun and the moon got over the earth and how we need sleep. And that's just we're so not necessarily addicted, but we're so used to and comfortable with our
Used to a
concept of
schedule.
time and our
Like-
concept of a schedule
Yeah,
and our
times-
daily routines. That concept we just can't wrap our minds around it because time is such an important part of our lives, and we're so like
It's just a number.
we need to be. We're so afraid of death and like exploring, other alternatives to life that we just, science hasn't. Nobody's done science like Albert Einstein since the 40s, and the technology he had back then. He's a patent collector.
Very limited.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
spent he was up like 20 hours a day and doing all this crazy science back then. Imagine if we did that today, but everyone just isn't.
With all the current stuff we have,
Yeah, no one's doing that. I don't think.
you know.
Everyone's a lot more money driven today. Is like the thing.
Money and time,
Yeah, nobody's really, trying to go out of their way and,
explore other ideas.
yeah, try to do
Yeah.
things that no one else has.
There's another thing too we haven't talked about. What do you guys think about Area 51?
I
Maybe any of that?
I think it's bullshit.
All of it?
I think it's
I don't know.
bullshit.
Think about how many secrets the government has from you.
Do you guys know about Snowden?
Okay.
Yeah.
the-
Edward Snowden?
No.
No.
He was this guy who worked for the NSA and then the CIA. He was in charge of monitoring all of our activities on social networks, and basically the government can see and
He's like the government's camera.
track and recorded everything
That we were doing online.
online, telephone calls, emails, all that stuff. And then he came out publicly and blew the whistle on the whole thing in 2011, I want to say. And the government had all this information. And then they came out and said, oh, we'll stop doing that. We're not doing that anymore. But they still are.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's this picture that Mark Zuckerberg on our Facebook posted on his on his Instagram, and he owns Instagram too, where it's him holding up this like thing, and then you see his laptop in the background, his personal laptop. There's a piece of tape over the webcam. Mark Zuckerberg. That just shows you what he knows.
He definitely knows more.
We don't know how much the government is hiding from us.
Yeah, so I mean, I encourage everyone who want to listen to this to go watch Snowden after
It
this,
is true.
because it opens your mind up to how much the government.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I'm joining
they're hiding so much.
I'm joining the
definitely,
military.
but-
I was talking to my sergeant today. Like, even me just joining boot camp, I get a secret, like, number that only I get to know. And, like, my superiors, obviously. But, like, it's, like,
So if the government,
if you're involved with the government, you're involved in so much more than,
you're
like, the
pretty,
regular
you're a pretty
average
powerful
person.
man.
Yeah.
They,
You're a pretty powerful
they
man.
started up this program.
Knowledge is power.
They started up
It's
this
all about
program
power.
when technology was started on the rise, and after 9/11, everyone was scared of terrorists and terrorist attacks. So they were like, the reasoning behind this, the moral, it was called the Patriot Act, and they made it sound that it had a catchy title, so it passed in Congress. But they could spy on all of us, and they could take our information and put us in jail for saying things like, even if you type in bomb on your cell phone, search up how to make a bomb, you're automatically flagged.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, if they put in all that money and resources into that, in Bush's administration, imagine if they did that way back in the 50s when all this alien stuff coming out. They could definitely keep a secret that long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally possible.
So let me like rephrase what I said. There are certain things that I think they're hiding that could be total bullshit. Are they? They're definitely hiding a lot of stuff. Just to protect.
Think about how hard they were trying to hide that Area 51 stuff. Like, you remember the storm the Area 51 thing that was going on?
Yeah, people they
They
killed people.
literally,
sniping people.
yeah, they literally said, like, if you
will kill
take
you.
one step across this line, we will kill you. They were,
And
like,
they
killing
did.
their own American people.
They,
Like,
like,
just to
did.
keep these secrets.
Yeah.
I feel like this is more like showing their like authority over the
No,
public, though.
I don't think so. I don't
I
think they
feel
would
like
just
if
straight
I feel
up.
like if there really were secrets in that base, or if there were, they would move them after like all the hype after
Maybe they did.
after Area 51. I feel like they'd move it to another secret base.
I just don't think that they
What
would
about the
just.
Pentagon?
Why,
though?
dude?
I don't.
Like,
I just don't
think
think
about
they
the
would kill
Pentagon.
innocent people like that.
yeah,
though.
think about how much military weapon. Like,
If we try to
the
walk
average-
into the Pentagon,
even if
It's
everyone,
literally- you can't.
Pentagon is a secret like,
If-
vault
if-
that it's everyone knows there's secrets in the Pentagon.
yeah,
You try to walk into the Pentagon, you get shot.
if everyone in America that owned a gun went to Area 51 and
Still
tried to storm
wouldn't-
it,
Still wouldn't make it.
no, we would have no shot.
That's the whole thing with the Second Amendment. People are saying the Second Amendment is bullshit because we can never take down our government.
Okay.
I mean, I believe in the Second Amendment, but like that's the whole reason it was written back then. That
There's a
the
reason.
people would win, but today
There's no
No.
chance.
we don't have
anymore.
tanks, we don't have jets.
If
we don't have nukes.
if like,
Nothing like that.
every single person like on Earth, obviously big number, it's not physically possible, but take say America for example, and put everyone going at it, it still wouldn't.
Yeah,
Because we don't have tanks, we don't have jets.
We don't have.
nukes.
Literally, they could just drop.
They have all that power. They have all the money.
Literally, just
We
they,
give
could
like
drop,
they don't
Taxes.
need to move the secrets.
they could just drop a
They're,
nuke.
the secrets aren't.
Everyone
any threat
knows
of
the
being found
Pentagon,
out.
the White House. You try to walk into the Pentagon. Look at when they invaded the Capitol.
They didn't make it very far.
I'm sure that if like someone was trying to leak those secrets, they'd know before they.
They would
had
know
the
before it
chance,
even.
and
They would know before it even
they'd
happened.
kill
Like
you.
you text your buddies, hey man, go to Air 51. Oh, boom, you're
Yeah,
fine.
And they're
you're
ready.
dead.
They're ready for
Yeah.
you already. Or like say you like
You get tortured by the CIA.
yeah. Say like yeah like you text your buddies so like I'm going like Pentagon or whatever. I'm gonna go find out secrets. They're gonna be waiting there for you.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Like, they're
know you're
checking everything.
They're gonna know you're coming before like you even think.
Yeah, like your fridge. Like, have you heard the stories about like people just having normal conversations like on the phone or something, and they're in their kitchen. They have like one of those smart fridges,
Yeah.
and it literally picks up
That's
your
what
stuff
Alexa
and
does.
uses your
Yeah, that's
cookies.
But
Alexa
have
is
you seen
on
it?
and listening all the time.
Like you could be talking
Literally all
about a
the time.
dishwasher, you hop on the internet the next day or something, and
It's
you
popping up in your feed.
Yeah, you got dishwashers for sale
Yeah.
popping up on your feed.
Have you seen the videos of like people asking Alexa like questions about the government or whatever? And it
Well,
just
that's
it, like,
another thing
shuts
too,
off or
because
whatever.
the government has leaked that information to say like Facebook and all this stuff. So like, if you search on your phone, Say, example that just came up in my life. I just binged Seinfeld, and I was on Snapchat, and there's always those ads in between people's story. A Seinfeld ad popped up that had to do with the
See?
product from the Super Bowl.
They're always listening.
All
Yeah.
those technology companies have that technology to,
And they
that's
say
for advertising purposes.
they say no. They say that it's for advertising purposes.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's
That's
like for sure the
Well, we
reason.
know for the advertising though, but then the government gave them that technology, and the technology has to be shared between them, and it's what's that thing called when it's like, oh, I'm just thinking about. They have that technology for advertising. Imagine what they could do that technology for like national defense.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be crazy. You know, it's crazy when we were talking about getting a place to move here. We were just talking about it on the phone on FaceTime. Like normal people, and not even 10 minutes later, I'm scrolling to like Instagram, or whatever, ads are popping up about like
Zillow. And
Zillow. It's just places to rent, and it's just weird thing. But
It's
I guarantee
just
you,
for advertising.
I guarantee if I pulled it up right now, it'd be like I could pull up something from like search history or a conversation I had.
And that's just for advertising. That's just
That's
trying to
only
people
for
make money.
advertising. Yeah.
So imagine the national defense side of that. So I definitely think in the Area 51 sense, it could be there. I mean, that could just be a naval base where they have like the Air Force Base and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
there was even before that, and then now in that kind of Nevada area in the 40s when they were testing the nukes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and the nuclear radiation, they could be trying to block that off. Because they were shooting this John Wayne film in Nevada in the desert in the 50s, like 10 years after they did the nuke testing, and John Wayne came down with cancer because of the radiation poisoning he got from being in that area. He ended up dying from it, from that radiation. So
Yeah.
if they hid the alien secrets where they were testing the atomic bombs, I mean, that would be the place for it. You already gotta block out the radiation so you don't get lawsuits and stuff about people getting cancer.
Yeah. Kind of crazy to think about.
And then with the whole Area 51 raid, you got people like step over that line, you're getting sniped right
And
away.
I'm pretty sure that correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure radicals have been like actually killing people for trying to cross it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a couple. when
I'm
the
pretty
whole
sure they
storm
did
happened.
because I'm sure that
The stupidest thing too with the whole thing is people were like creating these Facebook groups and like sharing on social media. On this date, at this exact time, we're going to Area 51.
That's not even the dumb part of it. The dumbest part is that people actually tried it.
Yeah,
They did it.
and that's the
and
only
they-
way we could get it out to.
Well,
like,
it was all like just a big meme.
It was a
and then,
joke,
like, some
and then people took it
too,
to heart.
Took it too far.
They
and,
took
like,
it to heart,
literally.
and they were like, what they thought, because I'm gonna say this, there are some dumb people out there, that don't think straight, and they literally took it and they were like, yeah, like if we all team up, there's no way they're gonna stop us. And look where it got them,
yeah,
Like that just goes to show how powerful weaponry in our government is.
yeah, but there was this new thing that kind of was interesting. You guys know that like multi-billion-dollar COVID bill that Trump signed kind of the week before he left that kind of raised a lot of heads because it only gave us $600 per month for our stimulus, and then
Yeah.
gave other countries all this other government money.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many of these. I can't remember what it's called. But Mr. Brandon told us like these cliffhanger bills that attach to that.
Oh yeah,
What are those called?
I think it's like piggyback bills or something.
Piggyback bills, maybe something like that.
And they like add
They're add-ons that they sneak in there because they know this bill's going to pass. They know people need COVID relief, so they sneak on all these other things that maybe not went past by themselves. And one of those was the government has 180 days, or maybe 90. I think it's 90 days to release all the files that the Pentagon has on unidentified flying object sightings, and they've already released all these like 100-page files and documents of all this stuff that people, to the public and to the press, that people have the opportunity to read through all that and to see what actually physical evidence we have so far. But I just don't have the time to sit there and read through all those documents. Somebody will probably come over there and come with some news stories though, but I just don't trust the media enough to see what they have so far.
Yeah, because everything is so portrayed in
Yeah,
on the media
it's
and
what they
internet.
want you to see, not always the
not
actual truth.
it's not the truth. It's just what they want you to hear.
I'm not saying like everything is fake news, but like
Most of it is.
I'd say 90%.
yeah,
Most of it
it's
is.
it's what they want you to see. It's not
It's
like
what they want you to,
because
fake.
people
what
love the
you
bad.
like.
They don't care about the good.
Yeah.
I mean, like sometimes the good's like what people want to see,
Well,
but
if you
like,
watch the news, it's
people
all
wanna
negative
see, like,
stories.
people want to see the gory stuff that you don't see every day. Like you could
That's
see like someone giving like $20 to a homeless person every day.
They're gonna skip through it.
Like that's something you see
Yeah, morally,
like, on a normal
as a
occurrence.
society, we lean towards the negative. If you watch the news, it's all negative stories. you go on social media, what gets likes and what's on Twitter is people flaming other people, like Jake Paul flaming Conor McGregor.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
popular versus if Jake Paul said, "Hey, he's a nice guy, Conor McGregor, man."
Yeah.
That would go
Like
nowhere.
no one.
That's just an example, but I mean, as a society, we're so polarized and negative nowadays that that's what gets the attention. So like, I don't know if we'll, as a society, will lean back towards just the
Like in a-
honest, wholehearted truth.
I don't know if this is a good example or not, but say like, you know, how the world and like it's all going like to shit because of like how we're treating it,
Yeah.
right? And everyone's like,
You're saying
everyone,
environmentally,
yeah, like everyone's listening to that, right? Because like it's going down, everybody's like picking their heads up.
but there might be positives too.
But the positive, you know, people have put out, you know, they put out there like how we can save the world, you know, keep it going longer and longer, and they just skip right through it, like they don't.
Well, I think there's two sides to that argument too, because everyone's saying we're destroying the world, we're killing the rainforest, we're doing all this bad stuff, and that's where, you know, all the polar bears. My dad always talks about the polar bears. The polar bears are supposedly going
the
extinct
global warming.
because of global warming. Polar bear population as of right now is as high as it's ever been in history, as we know of. But
You
everyone
know,
always, you always
most
see the
of
polar
it-
bear on the little ice cube, and he's dying,
He's
and all the beauty
skinny
people,
and-
skinny and white and drowning. And that's what's popular. That's what, you know, main culture picks up on.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of.
So I mean, if we ever were to, let's get back on that. If we ever were to get, you know, footage and proof on aliens as of right
It
now,
would skyrocket.
if we have all these documents with all this proof, would society even pick up on it, or would we just look at the negatives and like what's popular?
I mean, the
Yeah.
CIA did drop the videos in like March when COVID was like booming. They knew all the news
'Cause it was
about
part of the
They
COVID
dropped straight up videos of like
And nobody-
unidentified,
nobody even
aircraft
looked at it.
flying. Yeah, no, it was like
It's all about COVID.
no, yeah, like super discreet parts of, like Twitter and like Reddit were talking about it,
Yeah.
but like no one else was. And it's just like
That's
the,
what's
the
crazy.
video's
and,
crazy.
And to be honest, it's like the fact, like, what was it, like government officials had like released that video, and people got a hold of it, they released it, and like, to me, in my opinion, that's like way more, you know, way more talk about, way cooler than, you know, COVID, because everybody's more so worried about COVID,
Negative.
and so talking about that, and there's no negative side of that, everybody just pulls that out of
Polarized
proportion and seeing, you know,
politics.
yeah, see, when you see, you know, seeing an actual UFO,
Yeah.
you know, just kind of goes to show. Everybody likes to talk about the same thing.
What's popular?
Yeah.
That's what gives people ratings and what gives people money. And that's kind of what our system, as we've kind of talked about this whole podcast, we rely on money and time, and
Power.
in order to get money, time, and power, we need views, and we need people, and we need the population behind us. We need people like Jake Paul.
You need the
stupid shit.
you need the best story.
Yeah, and I think if we're ever going to discover if aliens, sorry about that. If we're going to discover if aliens are out there and intelligent life, we need to shift our society leaning towards the discoveries of truth and real science. Maybe bring back NASA. Maybe bring back all these files on the Area 51 that just got released. Focus
Yeah.
on the truth and the science.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
You know, the power the government holds.
We gotta get off this media fix that we have, all this social media stuff we have, and start to reorient ourselves back to like science and the truth and the way we live.
And if the Earth's ending like everyone thinks it's gonna end in however many years, there's people thinking that in the next
Well-
100 years we won't have enough food to feed everyone.
Here,
And so if we have that limited amount of time, we need to bring that program back as soon
Yeah.
as possible and start looking for other habitable planets, if there even is some. That's my thing with aliens, and if I think there's other life out there, the chances of Earth being where it was and like how perfect, like the distance it is from the sun, that's perfect for us to live on.
Habitable conditions.
Yeah,
So,
like-
yeah.
Like
percentage-wise, that's really unlikely.
yeah, like yeah,
yeah.
and
Very, very unlikely.
like the nutrients and stuff that trees need to grow that create our oxygen. Like
Yeah.
we have to be able to find another place that has all those things, that perfect environment that Earth was
but we'd have
made
to
in.
start like.
It's
We'd
gonna
have to
be
start-
so
we'd have to
particular.
start
It's gonna be
searching
so
now.
particular and finite for us as humans, as our life. But as far as aliens go, maybe they don't need oxygen. Maybe they don't need all this stuff. Maybe they're
You know,
completely
what I
different
think
from us.
is, you know, the world obviously, I don't think it's the end for a very long time. But I could be wrong. You know, anything could happen.
Yeah.
But what I think is because we're so far into it already, there's gonna get up to a certain point in time here soon that there's gonna be a point where we can't turn back and save it anymore. It's gonna get to a point where like
it's gonna end up like Interstellar, where it's unsavable. You have to find either a new habitable planet or
the world
make
just
something like they
ends.
did in Interstellar.
where it just ends because
I
we'll
don't
get
think-
to a point.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to make something.
No,
I don't think we're gonna be able to make a habitable planet, but the odds of us finding one are very, very slim in my opinion.
if we don't.
And that's why I don't think they're.
Scientifically speaking.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's why I'm like really iffy on the whole like if there is aliens or not.
New life forms, obviously.
What we discovered so far is that there's ice on Mars, but there's no life on Mars.
Yeah,
And that's
like,
the only like variable that we have that kind of connects to us that we could use is ice. Turn that into water. And that's one of the main variables: water, food, shelter, oxygen.
that's why they think there's like they'd be able
Chance.
to have oxygen on Mars, but like
We
like,
need way more
We,
than
we
that.
need trees to
Yeah.
remake the oxygen when we use it up, and we need like land to grow crops on. We need all this stuff as humans.
Would you be able to plant like trees on their soil up there? Would you have to bring soil from here and like start over?
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You have to bring all this stuff from Earth, and think about how long
take.
that would take to get that up there and
To
set
be
it up.
honest, it would like I don't even know if we'd have enough time if we started now.
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
I think we might because like the technologically advanced countries like America,
And
like
obviously technology.
Russia,
could get
China,
better.
yeah, like it'll get better. And so like when this food shortage happens, if that's the way the world's going to go out, then I think that the technologically advanced countries are going to be the last ones to go. And so by that time, we
Yeah.
might have enough time to figure it all out, and
But we gotta
maybe
get started
maybe
on
find
it.
another planet or figure something out.
Or
with-
we gotta we gotta
Mars.
figure
I
out
think where we
whoever's
are
gonna
right
listen.
now as a society, it's not going to happen. Just because of what
Nobody
we already
listens,
talked
yeah.
about, what we're fixed on, and how we're going. But that's from a scientific standpoint. What you guys talking about? I'm pretty religious, so from like a religious standpoint, I do believe in the end of the world. Jesus.
I do too. I
I-
believe in the rapture and like
I definitely believe in all that.
I think it's coming soon.
So
but
I don't know how
that's
that
just my
ties into
opinion.
aliens and all that, but I'm good with it. I'm okay with the world ending.
Yeah.
I don't. Like I said earlier, I don't know. Obviously, nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. No one know. Someone predicted, don't know his name, the world was ending in like what 2011, 2009, something like that.
Mayans.
2012.
Or
So
was
there's
the
the
Mayans or the Aztecs?
It was the Mayans.
And
And they predicted
that was
the world
that
was
was
gonna end.
that was all stupid because
Nothing
they literally
happened.
just didn't go
Finish
on
the
with the
calendar.
calendar after that. They were like, 2,000 years is like
That's
long
a good
enough.
That's a good time.
I'd
yeah.
probably get pretty tired of making a calendar after I made like 2,000 years worth.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good point.
I don't think the world will end for a while. Could be wrong. Anything can happen. But like I said, it's gonna get to a certain point where we're not gonna be able to turn it around.
But do you guys back to like the finding another habitable planet? Do you guys think there could be one out there? And do you think that
Yeah.
there
Yes.
is other life out
I
like
do.
on those habitable planets?
1,000%. I definitely believe it.
Yes,
I just
but I don't
don't
know
know.
if they're exactly like us.
They're definitely.
I don't think it'd be exactly
they're
like us.
I feel like
Like,
they're definitely breeded different than we are.
If you
Yeah.
zoom way out, zoom way out, way out, way out, there's no way
we're like there's new minerals, there's new elements out there in space like that we haven't even found on the
Yeah.
they're not on the
It's
periodic
crazy
table.
to think about.
So like if there's another planet, there's probably other like materials. Like it probably looks way different than Earth. I'm gonna
They
guess
could be
it has like
light years.
yeah, I'm gonna guess it
ahead
has
of
like the
us.
same properties as us. Like it has calcium, sodium, all that.
Or
Like
new
all the
stuff
like
we
it'll
don't
be
know.
all the same foods. It's not gonna look the same. We're still gonna have water. Like every species needs water, but
Well, even our solar systems, if you zoom out on our galaxy, they're all pretty much the same. You got the sun, and you got the the planets that revolve around their stars, and
like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
stars
guess
are evenly spaced
yeah,
out. through
I'm gonna
space.
guess it looks different because everything needs to adapt based on its environment. Because if we all lived in the same environment, we'd all look the same. Animals would look the exact same as us.
Yeah.
You're talking about evolution.
Yeah. Like
the evolution
we probably
process.
evolved from a banana if we did evolve. I don't really
They do say
believe
you
in
share 50%
banana. Yeah, we
DNA
shared
with
like half our
bananas.
DNA with a banana.
You
You
didn't know that?
No.
We
Half-
apparently like. we
Oh,
share
you're
50%
saying like
DNA.
chemically composed of potassium and all that stuff.
Yeah, like the majority of our DNA is the
Fif-
same as
I
a
think it's
banana.
Our,
like
not our
50%.
DNA, but our materials. That we
Maybe
made
that's
out
because like
It says
Potassium.
If you
it
believe
says
in
DNA.
of.
evolution.
There's a lot of potassium in humans, and there's a lot of potassium in
all right,
animals.
but if you believe in evolution, you
And
know-
see, the thing is,
No, no, no,
evolution-
let me
I don't-
finish
We're gonna
my
go
thought.
on if we're
Not
gonna.
a-
no,
not a
we're
banana,
we're not going
but-
on evolution. This is just like
We
a-
could.
well, another episode.
Okay.
All right, but this is just a random thought. I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay.
So,
You know how they say you are what you eat?
Yeah.
So when we were like, if we evolved from like monkeys and we
Bananas.
ate bananas,
Humans. That's a funny thought.
yeah,
but we'll do evolution on another episode. That gets a pretty interesting.
Yeah, we
ideas
could
on that.
talk about that for a while.
Yeah,
As far as aliens go, it's definitely possible.
write that down. Sorry, evolution.
I got it. It's up here. It's all in
Okay,
there, buddy.
okay.
It's all in
Yeah.
the vault. That goes in the vault.
No, just
But-
to end it, but I definitely do believe there's other life form out there.
It's possible, but scientifically and
We don't know anything.
astronomically, it's possible. Religiously, I don't know. I'm a Christian, and that's just a belief. That's not science.
Yeah, I don't believe in the whole
It's all belief. It's all a belief thing, you know.
And I'm just,
evolution.
some
I don't.
coach.
I don't think we could have evolved from a monkey or a fish, but maybe that's just me. Like, my thing is, how would that evolve? Like, how would life get started in the 1st place
Let's save
without
that for
God?
evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
I'm getting off
Let's
track.
not. Let's not
okay,
get.
so
I'm
into
getting
that
off
As
right
far
now.
as aliens go and all that stuff, I'm just a college kid. I just have a podcast, and I don't know. That's just my range of thought, my range of research, and just my personal opinions. And but as far as what we got right now, I do believe in Barney Hill and Bev's story and Travis Walton's story, and there's been some pretty strange occurrences of the pyramids and all that stuff. And I think if we are going to explore that scientifically, we need to rearrange our society so it focuses more on science and truth instead of opinion and this whole social media, flaming each other up in like media and all that stuff. So
All right, hold on. Let's go back. Take a few steps back, and let's go back to the habitable planets and alien talk real quick.
okay.
Okay.
And Logan,
Hmm.
I want to hear your thoughts on this.
The odds of us being the only planet in the entire universe that's habitable and has life on it is very small.
Yeah, but
You can get slim.
no,
like
no,
slim
no,
and
no.
numb.
Think about
Like,
the odds of like
Virtually none.
Earth being the way it is. That's very small.
Yeah, but like 1% of infinity is still infinity, and space
Sometimes.
is infinite.
He doesn't say much, but when he does, it's
So
good
I
shit.
didn't hit you. So theoretically,
That's why he's here,
if
folks.
space is growing, so is the amount of habitable planets in the universe.
It's a
Never
really good
thought
thought.
There you
about
go,
it
there's
like
your
that.
science, folks.
I never
It's a
thought
really
about
good
it like
that.
thought.
He's here.
It's a really good thought.
1% of infinity is still infinity. That's crazy stuff. Good stuff.
It's a,
We good?
I think that's a perfect place.
I think
to
that's
end
a
it.
good place to